Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Sorry, y'all. Shook the table a little bit. Happy Tuesday. Whew. Remember to share, like, and to comment. I know it's been a minute. I put some chapstick on, y'all. I know it's been a minute since we've been up here. It's been 2 whole weeks. 2 whole weeks. Oh my God. But we here. We are here. So I'm just trying to give it a moment or two for you all to log in or whatever. Excuse me. Good evening. Good evening. All right. All right. Let me see. Hey, hey, hey. If you are on, make sure to say hey. Because I want to say hello back. I want to say hello back. So I hope that you all have had an amazing day. It is Tuesday. This week already feels like it's been one heck of a week, and we're only in Tuesday. But God is still faithful. Um, and I don't know about you guys, but I am in a really interesting season of learning so many different um, pain points at one time. And it can be a tad bit overwhelming, okay? A tad bit. Just trying to grasp every little thing. Um, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about me, learning a lot about others, learning a lot about this space that I'm in, and both, professionally, academically, I don't know, just everywhere. It's a lot happening, if I must admit. So, um, yeah. But if y'all on, say hey, tell me who you are that just joined in, so that way I can say hey to you. Um, uh, I'm gonna send to one more person, not one more person, but one more place, one more place, one more place, one more place. So let me see, let me see. Um, uh, I know it's quiet because I'm sitting here trying to make sure I share it with everybody. But anywho, hey Nicole. All right, so I'm not gonna hold y'all super long. But I wanted to one get on here because this is an act of obedience and consistency for me. And I know that there were 2 weeks that I didn't show. Um, and it was because I just wasn't feeling my best physically. Um, Chronic headaches, um, and things of that nature. So I just had to take a beat, and try to get some things together. Yes, drink some water. Nicole already got on me about my coffee situation. So making sure that I drink enough water, making sure that I stay hydrated, making sure that I do the things that I need to do, while being pulled in many different directions. So um, it's only Tuesday. Um, and for me, um, it has been a long week already. Okay. And so, yeah, just working to make sure that I meet all of my goals, and do all the things that I need to do. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. My bad, y'all. I dropped something. But yeah, trying to make sure that I do all the things that I'm supposed to do. Because I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older, and that's a blessing. But sometimes you got to do some things a little bit differently than what you did before. But how y'all been? First of all, before I get into all my stuff, how y'all been? I hope y'all have been well. I hope that your jobs have been kind to you. I hope that your families have been kind to you, your spouses, your kids. Um, I know that the Lord has been kind. Now everybody else is a different idea. Um, but yeah. So if I'll be honest, y'all, I'm tired tonight. But what day am I not tired? What day am I not tired? But I'm showing up not just for y'all, but I'm showing up for myself tonight. Um, because sometimes, I have a tendency when we talk about grace and growth. Um, Tonight will be probably just a night of me being transparent. Um, Sometimes I have the tendency of flaking out on myself, and the things that I want to do and the things that I feel that I need to do, when things get a little interesting in other areas of my life, right? Maybe when school is getting a little heavy, or um, ministry work is getting a little heavy, or work is getting a little heavy. Um, Sometimes I have a tendency to just dial back, because yeah, just dial back. Um, so I think that me trying to pull you into this space of gracefully growing, is I have to be that example, right? I have to be that lead, to let you know that it is possible to still grow from a space of, I don't want to say uncertainty, but from a space of tension. That's the word. Um, it is still possible to grow from a space of tension. Um, and as we get older, right, we learn more things about ourselves, what we can handle, what we can't handle, what we are able, it's loud outside, what we are able we have the capacity to do, and what we don't have the capacity to do, and just being honest and open with ourselves about who and what we can be a part of, and being okay with that. And if you're anything like me, sometimes you think that you're superwoman and you can do anything, and we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. um However, we sometimes got to know when it's time to, like, you know, I think I've done all I can do here, right? Um and not from a space of anger or being offended, or, you know, from a space of offense, but just knowing, like, I think I think that things might be up here. And just understanding that it's okay to know how you're growing. And what I mean by that is it's okay to know like that I'm growing in this area. It's okay to realize like, hey, I'm not perfect. Right. And I know that sounds like realistic, like, yeah, Kia, duh, no one's perfect, right? But sometimes, if some of us be honest, we struggle with either doing too much or not doing enough for the um the fear of not being perfect, right? Or not getting it right all the time, right? And so understanding that even sometimes our intentions um can be interpreted in a way that is not in our favor. And not just not in our favor, but our intentions might be good, but the repercussions might not be that good. And understanding like that doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. That doesn't mean that there is something that you're not good or it just means that you have to understand like, okay, I'm growing in this space, right? And when you get older, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think that I have learned everything because there's so much to learn. But sometimes I just be like, why I feel like a kindergartner right now? You know what I mean? Like why I feel like no matter what I do, this is just not going right. Like whatever it might be. Like whatever I'm doing is just not going the way I want it to go. So what do you do when it doesn't go the way you want it to go? What do you do when you're in a space where it's like, I try this, that don't work. I try that, that don't work. I interpreted it this way, that's still not working. Think I'm going the right way. And then it's like, okay, that's not the right way, right? Um, that could be very discouraging in your growth journey. But we got to understand that we have to leave space for the tension. We have to leave space for the tension. And that's where I'm at right now. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about where you guys are. Um, but that's where I am right now. Is trying to leave space for the tension. Trying to leave space for growing. Trying to leave space um for flourishing, right? And trying to leave space for mistakes. Trying to leave space for mistakes. Trying to leave space for um knowing and understanding that you have to grow. You have to. And in order for that to happen, things got to kind of be stripped, added, taken away, cut, sewn on, ripped off, all the things. Um, and you're right, Nicole. Hey, sis. Hey, Stevana. Nicole, you're right. She said, usually just a sign that there is growth happening. And sometimes when we ask God for more of this or more of that, and we ask him for capacity, or we ask him for the grace to do a thing, we don't really think about the other stuff that be coming with it, right? He don't really show us the method in which he's gonna grow us. He don't really show us the tools he gonna use um exactly for this moment, um he doesn't always give us a heads up um that this one might hurt a little bit, or that this one might get really uncomfortable. It's gonna be real rocky. It's gonna be real rocky, but I'm gonna need you to stay on this ride. You're gonna feel like you want to throw up, but I'm gonna need you to keep it together. You're gonna feel like you want to throw in the towel and give up and turn back around, but I need you to stick this one out. It makes me think about I I haven't rode a roller coaster in a while. It's been a few years, probably since like 2021 or 2022, something like that. It's been a while since I rode a roller coaster. And I remember I had went to Universal Studios with my family, and my dad, he rides roller coasters for the most part. He don't like to be closed in though. Like he don't do no, being boxed in because he don't do claustrophobia, right? And so we were getting on the Tower of Terror, I think it is, and he was in line with us. Like stood the whole time, got all the way to the front. And this line, was it long? It was kind of long that day. We stood in line for a little bit, got all the way to the front, and my daddy saw that this was going to be where a closed in space, like you got into what looked like a small like box, kind of like an elevator box, right? That man saw that. He said, nope, not me. And he got out of the line. Okay. And not only did he get out of the line, but he walked all, because there's no way to exit. You have to get on the line to go through the exit, right? We all know that. He went all the way back and exited because he was like, I am not getting in that little box because y'all not gonna close me in, right? And it made me chuckle just now thinking about like that's how some of us view growth. We stay in line, we go through the process because we know this the ride we finna get on. Like at least I know the ride. I know what they showed me in the video and the picture. I don't know every single logistics piece. I don't know exactly how we get in and get strapped down. Like they showed me the instructions, but I don't know until I get there and get in it or when I see it for myself outside of this little video. I got to get close up to it to make the best decision. But so we do the schooling, we stand in line, we go through the all the steps we need to do, we have the meetings, we fill out the application, we go through the screening, we do all the things, and then we get right to it. And it don't look exactly like quite like how you comfortable with or that you thought it was gonna be. So you just like, nah, I'm good. I'm a head out. But now you done, you know, wasted time, possibly, right? You did all the things you needed to do. You got right there to the door. And because that door looked like it was going to suffocate you, because that door looked like it was going to snatch you out, because that door looked like it was going to choke you out, you say, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm good. I'm just going to go the other way. And I don't know about y'all, but that's where I am right now. I'm standing in line. I'm going through the learning. I'm going through the rough points. I feel like some days I want to throw up and throw in the towel. I feel like I want to get off this train because this is not panning out like in my mind like something shifted. Something is going left, right? And I'm just like this this can't be. Is this a growing moment? Is this a what is this, God? But I do know that I don't want to get all the way to the door and turn around because it's a little tight. That's what grace and growth is about. I'm going to always bring up grace and growth every time we meet because baby, it's just not a pretty process all the time. We see these flowers and plants and trees, and we're like, oh, it's so pretty. It's so beautiful. It's so colorful. It's so all the things. But do you remember what it looked like when it was just a seed? Not when it was just a seed, but then when it had to be put in the dirt. Then not only did it have to be put in the dirt, then it had to be watered. It had to be fed. Then it started to peek out of the dirt, but it still won't the hydrangea that you were looking for, right? Um, But then you see it get its while it's in the dirt, it's getting roots in that thing, right? It's getting planted, um it's getting solid. Then you see it starts to sprout out of that dirt. And it still just looks like a little piece of green something in the dirt. Then you watch it get a stem. Then you watch it get other leaves. Then you watch it start to stand tall, because you got to put it in some heat, got to put some sunlight on it, got to put some water in it, got to feed it, got to sometimes, depending on how much it's growing. I think we talked about this a couple of sessions ago. You got to repot it, take it out, and put it in a new pot so that way the roots can have the opportunity to spread out. And then finally, even before it gets to your hydrangea, then like it's like a little bud. You can't even see the color that it's gonna happen. But then you start to see that start to open over time. And then before you know it, it's this beautiful flower, right? And it's, Janelle, like you said, she said, and then sometimes it withered a little because there's a process that it goes through. And sometimes we think a plant is dead, but really it just needs water. Sometimes we think a plant is no longer valuable, but sometimes it just needs to be moved and repotted. And then sometimes we think that a plant is no longer valuable, but we just put it in the wrong spot. It hasn't been placed in its proper space for it to gain the nutrients and the sunlight that it needs. And so I don't know about y'all, but that's where I am right now. I'm just being honest. I'm just being transparent because I'm going through the things I need to go through to get to where I want to get. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I just didn't think it was going to feel like this. I didn't think that it was going to try to snatch me out a character sometimes. I didn't think that it was going to have me questioning, like, is my mind okay? Like, is my memory all right? Like, did I hear that right? Did I do that right? I know I did this. You know what I'm saying? I know I had this conversation, or I know like something is disconnecting. I'm in a space right now where I'm literally questioning a lot of things. But when you get in a space where you're questioning a lot, you know what you got to do? You got to hold fast to the vision. Taking it back to, we're using this plant and we're using this roller coaster right now as an analogy. So think about this plant. When you go buy this plant from the store, or you buy the seed, we're not even gonna say you bought the plant, but you bought the seed, right? There's a process that you have to go through to get the product that you want to get, right? And sometimes that process can take a little while. Sometimes that process can seem like it's not going nowhere. Sometimes it can feel like it's so frustrating because you're looking at somebody else's plant and you like, well, we bought our seeds at the same time. Why theirs seem to be growing and mine's not? We went to school at the same time. How come it seems like they're excelling and they finished and they booming and I'm not? How come, God, I've been working all my life and I feel like I'm working harder and I'm making less money now, right? And they seem like they over there flourishing. Like, God, I'm putting in the work, I'm studying, I'm doing all the things I need to do, but I feel like the information ain't clicking. I think I'm asking the right questions, but apparently I'm not asking the right questions. Like you start to process out loud and start to second guess like who you are, what you bring to the table. Like you start to be like, okay, let me try to see myself not just as myself, but let me try to see myself from how other people are viewing me, right? And it's not about that we care what other people think to the point where we make it dictate who we are, but we should take inventory to how the outside world views us, not for us to change who we are unless there needs to be changing, but for us to understand like how are we being received in the world, No, we won't be everybody's cup of tea. No, we won't be perfect. No, we won't always get it right. No, we won't always, our interpretation may be different of this or that or what have you. But who am I at my core, and is that being exemplified when I'm out and about, right? Um, Sometimes we just have to take inventory. And she said, listen, the stretching phase is something serious. That it is. And right now I'm being stretched and I don't really think I like it. If I'm being honest, I don't think I like it. Because when you get stretched, you get pulled in the right place, that thing might make you say something that you really wouldn't, that you don't want to say, because you being taken out of character. Okay. Sometimes that stretching mode of how you thinking thoughts that you don't really need to be thinking, because it's uncomfortable right now. But we got to understand, like, what phase are we in? Think of yourself as a plant. What phase are you in your budding space, in your growing space, right? When I think about the career change that I've made, right, into mental health, and just trying to understand all the terms, or trying to understand what is needed, etc. Like, I'm learning so much that I know that it's going to help me in the future. I do know that it's going to help me. I just don't like the way it feel right now, because sometimes I be like, bro, my brain is going to explode, right? That's how I feel. Sometimes my brain feels like it's literally going to explode. So, but I have to take a step back, take a deep breath, right? Sometimes you gotta take a deep breath in and let it out, right? So that way you can really take in what's being done, take in what's being said, take in, all the things around you, and try to be intentional about what you need to extract from the moment. And I hope that something that I'm saying tonight is helping somebody, that you're not only relating, but that something that I'm sharing is helping you to see and to understand, like, depending on where you are in your growth space, it could be a pretty stage, an ugly stage, or I really don't care and don't know stage. It just depends on where you at. But you got to be honest about where you are, right? You got to be honest about where you stand. You got to be honest about what phase you're in. I think I'm in the phase of getting roots. So, meaning I'm not really seen right now. And I mean that, like, kind of figuratively, that makes sense. Because I'm coming into a new space, right? I'm being planted. My roots, they're growing out. I'm trying to get a foundation. I'm trying to get a better understanding. I got all these wires going off in my brain, right? So I'm trying to do the things that I need to do, learn the things that I need to learn. So I'm definitely in a rooting stage. I'm growing inwardly and not so much outwardly right now. And that's okay. Growth is still happening, right? Growth is still happening. Hey everybody, hey, hey, hey. So I'm you got to understand, what stage are you in right now, and be okay with that stage. Like, am I growing inwardly? Am I growing outwardly? Or if you like the roller coaster analogy, like, what part of the line am I in? Can I see the door from here? Am I getting nervous, right? Because I'm getting close, you know? Am I feeling like I shouldn't? Am I feeling like I should? Am I a little scared? Is fear trying to set in? Like, you have to really take inventory about where you are, right? And for me, where I'm at right now is, I don't know if fear is really the thing. I think it's just the stretching part. It's the stretching, it's the questions that I have of myself, and also taking inventory about how other people see me, right? Um not to the point of I want to, I need to change to be like them or anything like that. Not to that extent, but just taking inventory about how others might receive me. And if there's anything that I need to change, let me take inventory to change that, right? Because essentially, at the end of the day, regardless of my own feelings, my own inadequacies, my own misunderstandings, my goal is I need to represent Christ the best way that I can. I have to represent Him, right? I have to make sure that even if I am angry, that I don't sin. I got to make sure that even when I am uncomfortable, that I don't intentionally make other people uncomfortable around me. Even, no, if I'm feeling away, that I have the hard conversations, that I address the things that need to be addressed in love and in a godly manner. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, we have to make sure that we are taking inventory about where we are. Well, let me go back. We want to take inventory about where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Zai said that she's in the stage of growing, developing inwardly, yeah, and slowly disconnecting from those things that don't serve me. That is amazing. That is amazing. We have to learn how to disconnect from the things that don't serve us. That's people, places, and things, right? And sometimes it's not always a bad thing. Like, you don't have to just be walking away from stuff just, "Oh, I'm mad." Just because you say something don't serve you don't mean you're mad about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this thing is not, I'm not growing from this space anymore. I don't feel like I'm growing, you know? And then also understanding the difference between like not non-growth and frustration, because those two things are not synonymous, right? Just keep that in mind. You got to know when you're not growing, but you also got to know when it's coming from a place of frustration. So something to think about, like, what is no longer serving you? What is no longer serving you in this season? What is no longer serving you? Where is a space or a place in time that is just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good from here. You got to think about that. We are about to be halfway through 2026 already. Like, time is flying. Okay. We're about to be halfway through 2026. And in us being halfway through 2026, I don't want you guys, or I don't want us, including myself, to focus on what we haven't accomplished. Baby, it's a lot going on in the world. I'm here today. I'm here. Like, let's start there. I am here. And how Dorinda say, I am still here. And it's by the grace of God. Okay. I'm still here. And it's only by the grace. I'm still here. And it's by the grace of God. Okay. Um, so you have to be clear about where you are and understand, like, in a lot of not in a lot of spaces, in everything, it's only God that's keeping us, y'all. But even though there's so much stuff going on in the world, probably so much stuff going on in your family, probably so much stuff going on your job, probably so much stuff going on in your communities and all the things, understand this, that even in this growing and stretching phase, it won't always be like this. That's what I got to keep reminding myself. I'm going to look back at this period in my life and I'm going to be like, baby, I thought I wasn't going to make it. I thought I was gonna kirk out. Is that a bad thing to say? That's what the kids be saying. I hope that's not like a cuss word or nothing like that. But what is it? Crash out. You know what I'm saying? There were so many times I could have crashed out, but I'm still here. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still stretching. I'm still believing. I'm still pushing. I'm still respecting. I'm still loving. I'm still, I'm still, I'm still, I'm just still. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is such a beautiful space. And I heard something yesterday. I didn't say it. Was not my original thought, but I heard it and I want to share it with you all. This young lady got online and it was just a clip. And she said that, in a nutshell, sometimes we don't know how to just be still with God. Like, we don't know how to just sit with Him. Like, we can't sit with Him in our own power. Because if you're anything like me, sitting still, 9 times out of 10, I feel guilty for sitting still. I feel like I got to do something. My hands got to be moving. I got to be doing something. And I feel like if I'm not doing nothing, then I'm just automatically not being productive. I know that's not good. I'm working through it, right? Um, I'm getting better, but I'm working through it. And she said, sometimes we think that we got to be doing something in order for God to be moving. And sometimes He just wants us to sit still. He's not really talking to us. He might, sorry, y'all, got a little itch on my back. Um, he might say a little this, say a little that. He might not say nothing at all. But sometimes He just wants us to sit still, to absorb His presence, to absorb His instructions, to really get to understand His heart and understand who He is and what He has for us and His plans, and to really, become engrossed in that space. But sometimes we get so busy that we feel like we have to just keep moving and doing and producing in order for us to say that God is using us and growing us and shaping us and stretching us. And sometimes if we just sit still and understand that He's stretching us from a place of no movement, that He's working in us from a place where there's no talking. He's stretching us and forming us from a place where there's no requirement for us to do anything but to just be. We have to just be, right? And understand that it is important for us to be. It's important for us to sit and to really understand and gain the heart of Christ concerning us. Because we're all believers, and if we're not, let's talk. But I just wanted to come up here, y'all, and I wanted to check in because it's been 2 weeks. Um, and I have missed you guys immensely. But I wanted to share with you guys where I was, you know? And I didn't know what God was going to do when He gave me the name Grace and Growth for this space. But sometime y'all, we just be talking stuff on ourselves. Where they got that song to be like, was it tried by fire, purified? I wanna be tried. No, I don't. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Leave me out of it. You know what I'm saying? I do want to be purified. I do want to be sanctified. Listen, can we leave the fire out? Listen, y'all, I'm just joking. Some things do require a little bit of fire, a little bit of water, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But sometimes when we be just saying stuff, we got to understand what we saying. And I'm in a season right now. Right, Zaya. She said, yes, some lyrics I just be quiet because no. Um, I'm good, God. I'm good. I promise you. I don't need any fire. I'm hot enough. I'm hot. But we just have to understand as we are saying things and declaring things in our life, that it does come with some stuff. It does come with some growing. It does come with some inventory. It does come with some self-realization, awareness, all the things. So we just have to be open to what the Lord wants to do in and through us, and how he wants to bring that out of us, and what he wants to do to 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 bring us into our next space. And so, listen, I appreciate y'all for joining me. Now, I didn't ask y'all to do me a favor, and that's to tell me what y'all want to talk about now, or what y'all want to discuss in our grace and growth space. Okay. I'm organizing because I want to bring a person or two on. Okay. Well, we can have a discussion about this space of grace and growth. So what I want you to do is, I need you guys, I need your help. Everybody that's on this thing. Don't let me call you out. All right. Sister Jessica, I see you joining us. You joined us a couple weeks. Thank you so much. If you got something, I need you to share it. Zaya, I need you to share it with me. Stavana, sis, tell me what you want to talk about. Shelby, hey girl, tell me what you want to talk about. Okay, Trees, Sister Kia, Mama, Diana, Jasmine, let me know. Sister Carrie, let me know what y'all want to talk about. Janelle, I see you joined us. Thank you for joining us tonight. Nicole, of course. Listen, what y'all want to discuss in our grace and growth space? Because this is not just my space. I'm just here to facilitate this space. What you said? What to do when you have stopped hearing? Now, do you mean hearing God, or just hearing in general? Like, you know what I mean? I just want to make sure I'm clear. She said, what do you do when you have stopped hearing? Okay. I'm gonna write that down. Put that down. Put that down. Hold on, let me put that in my put that in my, something wrong with my thing, my notes. What to do? Something going on with my notes in my phone. I can't get them up. Okay, so okay, hearing him. Okay, I didn't see the him part. Okay, so what do you do when you stop hearing him? That's good. I like that. Um, okay, do you think God stopped speaking, or that he, hold on, it's not showing up for me. Let's see. I'm gonna put it up here. Do you think God stopped speaking, or that he speaks definitely in this season of your life? That's good. Now for me, um, I don't that is a great question. I don't really believe that God stops speaking. I do believe that sometimes, depending on what we have, this is just my personal belief and my personal, but I want to come back to it when we have more time to dive in. But um, personally, in my experience with Him, I don't believe that God has ever stopped speaking to me. I think there's been things that have been in the way of me being able to hear Him. And we have to understand and know that sometimes God speak to us. Some people say there's only been a few times that they've ever really heard like the audible voice of the Lord, right? um some people, most people, it's kind of like it's just a knowing. It's a thought that comes into play, that was not, that this was not your own, right? That's a way of him speaking. But then there's sometimes where you really be like, God, what you want me to do? And he don't be saying nothing. And I know for me, I feel that overwhelming sense of, hold up, swole up. He'll be like, wait on this one. Just chill for a second. It's not a yes, it's not a no, and it's not even just a wait. It's like a hold up, which I guess is a sense of wait. Okay. All right. So what she said? She said, I don't think God's speaking. It's just what I think we just don't want to hear. what he has to say, because it could be something we don't want to hear at times. Yeah. Yeah. She said, I don't think it's that God's not speaking. It's just that he's saying something we don't want to hear. That could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. And that's why I said earlier, y'all, we got to take inventory about where we are, right? Um, and not only where we are, but where we are in our lives, where we are in our state of mind, in our emotions, in our heart. Like, what's our heart's posture, right? Because that can help to tell us a lot about how we respond to God, to life situations, um, to things in general. It could tell us a lot about us, but we have to be open and willing and ready to receive and to explore what that looks like. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna take that down. What do you do when you stop hearing him? That is a really great question. What do you do when you stop hearing him? Hmm. Well, when we come back next week, I want to dive into that. But I also want to ask you, and those of you that may have a similar kind of situation with the Lord, is I want you to take inventory of yourself and your life and where you are, and ask yourself, is it that he stopped speaking, or is it that there's something that's preventing me from hearing him, accepting him, understanding him, right? There's just something that's keeping me from that. Okay, let's see. Another topic: balancing ministry, family, girl. Not you said mother wounds. I'm not doing this with you today. That's really good because actually, my husband, who's also my pastor, we talked about that this week. We talked about that this week, and that's such a heavy subject. Such a heavy subject. Okay. And Zaya said, add father in there as well. So parental wounds, right? Mother wounds, father wounds. Oh, y'all want to get in. Y'all want to dig. Y'all want to dig. Y'all gonna make me stretch. I'm here for it. Um, but that's good. Balancing ministry and family. Um, that's a whole that's a whole other woo. Um, I'm learning, and I think that looks different for everybody, but I'm gonna dive into that. I think that looks different for everybody. Balancing ministry and family. Um, but let me just start by this, and we'll dive into it because I'm keeping note. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to these comments. I'm keeping note. Um, right, right. Teresa said using that counseling hat early. Girl, listen. Um, as a believer, we have to understand that our family is our first ministry. So one of the things that my husband told me a long time ago as we went into pastoring, he said, "Listen, if I got to choose between that church or you, and my family, you and my family, or not you and my family, but the church and my family, it's gonna be my family. It's gonna be you every time, right? If I got to choose, it's gonna be you every time." And I think that we have to understand that. It's the same thing for me. If I had to choose between ministry, um, am I doing what I need to do for my spouse, I'm gonna choose my spouse. One of those things came up for me. I had already announced that um we were doing Color Me Free in 2025. I was like, ooh, save the date. I had already just about gotten a venue secured. I had got a main speaker secured. All I needed to do was just put all the finishing touches on it over the next several months. I think I had announced it in like January. Um, and then we were going to do it in August. But February, my husband went through a life changing surgery, and we spent 2025 just getting everything back in order. And so, guess what? That ministry event, that ministry moment had to be put on pause, right? So if I got to choose, it's going to be him every time. So we got to understand that our family is our number one ministry. However, there is a balance to that. And I believe that if you're not in a position where you have to choose per se, which is a good thing, that means your spouse and everything is on board, we still just have to find that harmony between the two. One of my girlfriends, we always talked about balance, and we changed our language from saying balance to saying harmony, because even in balance, something is always going to be a little bit heavier than the other thing, right? But finding the harmony to integrate the things that can be integrated, I think that works best, and everybody just has to find a unique way to do that. But we'll talk about that more. So we say mother wounds, father wounds, balancing ministry and family. How do you know, or how do you manage when you stop hearing the Lord? See, y'all gave me 4 good subjects. Anybody else want to round it up to a 5th one? Because then we got the next 5 weeks. We got the next 5 weeks. Anybody got one more thing? One more thing. But while I'm waiting to see if we got one more topic that we're going to discuss, thank y'all so much for joining me on these Tuesday nights and coming back strong in color after 2 weeks off. Oh, Savannah, not toxic purity culture. Oh, Jesus. Y'all gave me some heavy hitters tonight. Y'all gave me some heavy hitters tonight. All right, no more suggestions. We got 5 weeks. We got 5 weeks. Okay. We talking about the mother wounds, the father wounds, the how do you know when you stop hearing him? Or what do you do when you stop hearing him? Balance between ministry and family, and then toxic purity culture. I'm glad I at least got 2 of these 5 weeks off from school, because I start school in the summertime. Ending this semester this week is my last week, finals week. Y'all pray. And then 2 weeks off, and then going back in the summer. But y'all gave me some good things we're gonna talk about. So y'all make sure that y'all tell y'all friends and y'all family, all your sisters, okay, about the Grace and Growth Room, because we're going to talk about some pretty heavy stuff over the next couple of weeks. So as we announce each week, I'll tell y'all what the topic is that we're talking about. Um, Oh, I appreciate it. She said, "You're the one to have this dialogue." I pray. Mm, I might get canceled. No, I'm not. I'm not getting canceled. But purity culture does need to be talked about because I grew up in that area, that era. The promise ring, and you know the whole ceremony, and just a hot mess, especially when you talk about women. I do believe that staying pure until marriage is amazing, and I think that if you have the opportunity to do it, that you should. However, if you have not remained pure until marriage, you are still valuable. Okay, you're still valuable. We're gonna leave that there. We're gonna leave that there. We're gonna leave that there. Okay. Um, and if you saving yourself till you get married and you're not married yet, you got to understand that marriage is not the prize for keeping yourself, because that's what purity culture tried to teach us, that marriage is your portion, is your prize. If you keep your legs closed, that's just toxic in itself. Anyway, we're not gonna get into it. We're gonna leave that for another day. But this is the Grace and Growth Room, y'all. This is where we connect, empower, and we build community. So I'm excited about where we're going over the next couple of weeks. Stavana, do me a quick thing. Send me a text with each one of them topics, just so that way I don't forget, because I thought I was going to write it down. Something's wrong with my notes in my phone. Send me a quick text with all of them topics, and I'm going to make sure that we stay engaged for those over the next 5 weeks. I'm excited to keep growing and grace with you all every Tuesday. And thank y'all for coming on the new adjusted time. I might have to change it to 6. I don't know. Summer semester Yeah, Tuesdays are still good because I only have class on Mondays and Thursdays. So we're gonna keep this thing going on Tuesdays. I might change it to 6 o'clock, but just stay posted. It is gonna be on Tuesdays, okay? And I am looking forward to having y'all invite somebody to come join us for this conversation because it's gonna get juicy. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna post tonight what our next week's topic is gonna be about because I want to get y'all's questions and maybe I think one of these ones I think I'm gonna invite somebody into this space. Okay. So I'm gonna see one of my good girlfriends who's free because we're gonna come in, we're gonna have a chat. Okay. So I love y'all. I look forward to continuing this conversation. So I want to pray really quick, so that way we can seal this moment until next week. Father, I thank you so much for your love, your grace, and your mercy. I thank you for everything that you are, everything that you've done, and everything that you continue to do for us. I thank you for this opportunity, that you just allow me to be in this space, and that you continue, by way of Holy Spirit, to help me to articulate what you want to be said in these moments. This space is foundationally built on you and our faith, and Lord, we just want to make sure that we're having healthy and conducive conversations about who you are, about how we are in you, and God, how we can continually grow, in these interesting and sometimes difficult spaces in our lives, and how we can do it with grace, because you've given us the ability to do both, to have grace and operate in grace, and to grow in these spaces. And so we thank you for that. We thank you um, that you've given us everything that we need according to life and godliness. And so we lean on your word, we lean on your Holy Spirit, we lean on each other in this community that you're allowing us to build to be able to grow gracefully in you. Until we meet again, we thank you, Lord, for new ways made, new open doors, and new opportunities. In Jesus' name. Amen. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining me for Grace and Growth. Make sure to invite a friend. I'm gonna post tonight which one of them topics we gonna go with first, and y'all make sure y'all submit y'all questions because we gonna dive in. All right, I love y'all. Have a good one. And I say this at our church, or we say this at our church. Remember these words from 2 Corinthians chapter 5 or 7: for we walk by faith and not by sight. No doubt about it, because I believe God. I love y'all. Peace.